Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Aitken from Ringwood Sewing Centre and welcome to my very messy studio. Today I want to share a quick video clip that we made with some of our tutors over the past 2 weeks. In this video you'll have a sneak look at some of our class samples and you'll hear a little bit from each of our tutors. I'm sure you'll agree that they're a really talented bunch. The first tutor I'd like to introduce is Sherry. Sherry used to live locally to our store and shifted away to Tasmania several years ago. She visits back home in Melbourne quite regularly and is joining us this year as our guest tutor. Sherry covers a wide range of special interests, and this particular time around she's chosen some wonderful textile art and some free motion quilting classes. In these classes, you'll learn to really explore a whole new way of working with textile. Over to you, Sherry.
One of the other projects is silk painting, starting with a stencil. So you start off with that stencil, you manipulate it to whatever design you would like. You use a gutter resist on there to outline the areas, and then we have fun and paint with silk. And then all the other embellishments at the end are that final process, the quilting and the felt, putting your felt on and the buttons. So that's that one. And this is the same process. That starts off with that stencil. And then you manipulate that on there.
Really nice.
And then I've put a little bit more beading and a little bit more handwork on that with a few metallic threads. So you can see that. And on this stand are the silk scarves. This is done with colour put on with a foam brush, and then rubbing alcohol put on to give it the circles. And there's another one there. And I'll be teaching lots of different techniques. So that's started off, I dyed that pink, and then I folded it up, ironed it, folded up, put a clamp on, circular clamp, and then dyed the rest of those, and then added some Guta gold. So there's lots of really easy techniques. You don't have to be an artist, so to speak. You don't have to draw or do any of that to be able to make a silk scarf. This I actually got the photo from a magazine. So, and look, we do have to consider copyright, but we're not going to put it into a gallery or sell it. It's for our own personal use, and as long as you acknowledge where you received it from, that's the most important thing. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, and I've just put on interfacing and on the bias and fluffed it up to make it look a little bit more interesting. So you can pass that around.
The very talented Leah is with us on a regular basis and is one of our permanent employees. She's worked around the traps for many years, and nothing gives her greater pleasure than to teach other people how to sew and sharing her love of sewing. In Term 1, she has 2 classes for you. A Stitches Garden number 2, which is a sensational quilt for learning special techniques, and her very beautiful little set for new mums, whether you are a new mum yourself or if you know somebody who's going to be a mum this year, you won't want to miss making this wonderful collection.
So in each block, actually, the techniques which are covered is using your decorative stitches, bobbin work, adjusting the width, length, you know, the setting in the machine, and obviously the you know, cutting the blocks to a certain size, piping, bobbin work using ribbon.
Can very easy in time. I mean, they don't have to do everything. The package, so is the quilt, which you already seen. So the way I put my scraps together, I've got boxes, the pinks, the browns, the florals, so when I took the pinks and the whites out to make that quilt, then I thought, the quilt. Usually with a quilt, I ask the girls, when you hand the quilt as a present, we make a bag with the same fabric. I think that's really very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, then I go to the bag. Then I thought, need a baby change. Now this one, I've got more at home, but anyway. And on some of them, I put flannelette.
Yeah, that's nice.
And this one, actually, I use double 100% cotton. I put double the wording to be nice and soft.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to do something for mommy. Just to put something in. I don't know. And I like my wiggly stitch. My husband and I are going to see it a lot. Because it's so forgiving. And some pockets, 1, 2, 3. You know, put bottles or whatever, God knows, what they put, and nappies.
Of course, Ringwood Sewing Centre adores machine embroidery, and so Lynn is joining us in term 1 to teach software classes, but also to teach this beautiful quilt called La Vue en Rose.
There's mistakes in the cross hatching that I've got to unpick, and I haven't quite finished it. The last few days I've spent hours just cross hatching, and I was hoping to have it finished, but unfortunately
Looks
not.
lovely.
It's
Oh, it's
gorgeous.
beautiful, Lynn.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So although I'm not pleased with it at the moment, I know it's very beautiful, and yeah.
So tell us more about the quilt and the class, Lynn.
Okay. The quilt very much is based on the blocks. So you have your centre block, which I have taught one class already, and then there's your roses. It's just 8 repeats, and once again the placement of the roses is very important. The placement of these is also very important. It's very much a quilt of placement. The further out you get in the design, the more repeats that you have, and you have to place them. And then the border obviously has lots of different placement too, and yeah. So it's a design by Tracy Sims, who's an Australian artist, and she has had Zunt digitise it, and as a machine embroiderer, which is my first love, it is beautiful to sew. The digitising is just amazing.
And finally, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Jana. Jana is
I'm
lots
going to be
of
running the Hexie Club and the Applique Club. We've got so many wonderful things for you to make. Christmas mats, little needle holders, purses, all sorts of things for you to get stuck into. So I look forward to seeing you on a Wednesday afternoon.
Wasn't that neat? If you'd like to join us for a class or workshop in Term 1, 2015, all you need to do is go to our website and enrol in the classes. If you'd prefer, you can call the shop on 03 9870 0011. I hope you'll join us for one of our many classes, workshops, or even some of our clubs.